Hello, everybody. Welcome to Novene C TV, and it's your girl, Novene C. And today I have a special guest with me. I have my cousin, Coach Scott, and we will be talking about healthy living. But first, if you haven't done so, please subscribe, like, and share, and also click the notification bell so you can be notified when I put out a new video. So let's get right to it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Coach Scott.
Well, some people call me Coach Scott. My birth name is Chantel Scott. I have two beautiful grown adults now. They're still my babies, but I have grown adults married for, I'll actually come in here really soon. We're having an anniversary. It's been 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, long time. But now with the older kid, now we have older kids, not kids, adults. We pretty much have our house to ourselves. So we pretty much just made businesses out of the house. So our business together now is called Homeschool Approach to Holistic Health. Wow. And we've just been hitting the ground running. So that's me in a nutshell. Yeah, that's
awesome. And for the record, she's married to my cousin, Pete. But that's awesome. 30 years is a milestone to be celebrated. So that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you as a whole family, your family is very healthy and health conscious. And so all of you are vegan, right?
Now, yes. PJ just crossed that plateau, I think less than a couple weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So how long have you been vegan personally?
Me personally, 6 years.
6 years. Okay, that's good.
And I'm coming close to the 7th year. I've been saying 6, but I think I'm getting closer to that 7th year.
Okay. And what made you become vegan?
A lot of different reasons. The biggest paradigm shift for me was losing my mother in 2003.
Yeah.
She had a lot of different medical issues and things like that. I personally was doing a lot of the medical attention, such as insulin shots, changing dialysis, all these different things. And I was doing everything that they told me. So in all the things that I was doing for her, you would think that she would still be here today. And what I realized is I was doing a lot of sick care as opposed to what I like to consider health care.
Right.
And I was just doing what I was told. And, needless to say, we lost her in 2003. And so I don't like even using the word lost. She transitioned. And when someone transitions, for me, it's not a sad day. It's more of it became a legacy for me. How can I continue this beautiful love that my mother and I shared since I've been born and continue that? And it ended up being, for me and her, nutrition, because I learned very quickly that once I focused on nutrition, that I never had to, by choice, watch that happen to anybody that was going to listen to what I learned. Right. I learned so much watching her go through what she went through. And when I tell you my mother was afraid of needles, to watch her on her deathbed plugged up to so many different things, to me was not natural at all. So I dug deep into self, introspected, and learned that we are natural people. We're natural creatures and natural beings. And so I learned the natural way, and that is now me and my mother. She's transitioned physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, ethically unified, astrology, how do you say that? Cosmically, astrologically, she's here, she's right here with me. So that definitely would be what I would answer in regards to the biggest shift for me. But if you ask me, how many reasons, there's multiple reasons why.
So once all that happened, first of all, sorry, about your mom, but like you said, she's around, and I'm sure she's helped guide you and your kids and stuff. So that's awesome. Yeah. And so, how was your transition, from eating whatever you were eating before to becoming vegan?
How was it? You mean like and on an emotional level, like
Like,
like
like,
for go
like
ahead.
anything, like, so, were you eating everything before? Like, did you go from like eating all the regular food to vegan, or did you have to like go
Oh, okay.
stop eating pork, stop eating red
Okay.
meat, and then vegetarian, then vegan, or how did you do it?
Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm soul food all the way. You know, I ate everything, girl. I even ate chitlins. Everything. Do you hear me? From the rooter to the tutor. So I am no stranger to any piece of meat. I mean, and I'm also the type of person that likes to try new things. So there's some things in the animal category that I've eaten that most people probably be like, "Ooh, girl, what is wrong with you?"
Right.
So I didn't eat those on a regular basis. However, that is your most accurate. I stopped eating pork first, and then I cut back on the red meats, and then I started leaving the poultry,
Right.
and then I stopped eating the fish, and then it was cheese for me,
Right.
and then I stopped eating. I mean, now I actually follow Dr. Sebi, and I pretty much eat the Sabian way, if that's a thing. He pretty much is about the indigenous plants, meaning the things that grow naturally without cultivation.
Right.
And so also without starch. So starch is what man uses to create from one indigenous plant, to connect one indigenous plant to another. And that medium is called starch or paste. And when you put those two together, you're really eating a whole different type of plant that's not an indigenous plant. So this is something that was being cultivated in a lab and, put in Mother Nature to grow.
Right.
And so I even researched those type plants. And what I love about Dr. Sebi is he created a nutritional guide that actually gives you the plants. And I'm pretty sure it's just like in America. If you go somewhere else in another country, then they probably have different indigenous plants. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So here, you have burdock, you have yellow dock, you have red clover, you have some really good staples here. And so I really enjoy those and get electrified by those. However, yeah, I kind of just did that step down. But I think I'm a lot more cold turkey than most people. The whole family went on a 63-day fast. I called it 21 days to kick the habit, 21 days to just kind of, I can't remember how I worded it, to stay, to complete the fast of some sort, and then 21 days to enjoy it. It was something like that.
Right.
And so with that, I think I ate meat one more time after that. And yeah, I was done. I was just like, I'm good.
Do you remember what the meat was that you ate?
Probably I want to say spaghetti, because I think I had went to a restaurant or some, and we were there, and so I think it was, I would say, hamburger meat.
Okay.
Out of the spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I really don't want this. Like,
Right. Right. Were you grossed out by meat now? Like,
not grossed out, because I can still sit with people eating meat. I have girlfriends that we eat lunch once a month, and I sit and they eat. I'm not grossed out. Like I do have friends that are on the extreme side too, where it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't be next to it, and But then I also have a set of friends where, because the good thing about me is I've been there before, from the Buddha to the tutor. I'm telling you, like. But at the same time, I definitely have different mindset about it. Like my philosophies are completely different, but I don't want to be like a separatist of some sort, like where I'm, oh, you stay over there because you eat meat. It's like, it's like, yeah, it's more of a for me, it's more of, this is my journey and I'm enjoying it and I would love to share with you. But if you're not interested, we could totally talk about something else.
Exactly.
There's so many other things we can talk about. Trust me.
So since you've been vegan, have you noticed anything, in your body, health-wise, or, that changed since you've been vegan?
Definitely. And it was a roller coaster initially, because a lot of people around you aren't vegan. Even the girlfriend that I had that was vegan, by the time I started going vegan, went to talk to her, she wasn't vegan anymore. So it's like you're on this island all by yourself. So I was just like, well, remember when? But at least I could talk to her. Mm-hmm. So that was a good thing. I was able to talk to her, and so it's a journey. It's a journey.
Right.
Now the question, though, let me go back to the question. Help me out.
Girl, I don't remember what the question was. What did I ask you? Oh, health-wise, like have you noticed any change in your body? Yeah.
Yes, I did. Okay, and so basically, I had a lot of people like saying, like, let's say, I remember one of the comments that really struck me was just like, "Oh, you're getting transparent. Like I can't even see you anymore." Like it was really like, and yeah. And so it's just kind of like, but then it dawned on me. No one knows what my health looks like not even me.
Right.
So I had to start embracing that. It's like, yeah, you're going to have to go through whatever this is because no one knows, not even you. So I'm looking in the mirror like, am I getting too thin? And I'm trying to look and see. And then once I went through that process, kind of like when you're getting locks, it's like, you go through that phase that I dare not call ugly phase, because it's like, this is beauty. This is what grows naturally.
Right.
So for me to take this journey, it's a natural journey, and no one's going to know what that looks like unless I follow through.
Right.
Once I started following through and actually started embracing it, health abundance just flowed. It's like, oh my gosh, like, because at first, detoxing is kind of what you're doing. I got rid of all this stuff, bumps and stuff. So I'm like, my face, oh my God, what's going on? And I mean, they were there for a while. So all that, whatever that was, came out. And I like to say it's my pineal gland started decalcifying. That was my thought.
Yeah.
I had like something like a little, some of these things, I never went to a doctor to get diagnosed. I just felt stuff. Right. Like I felt this singe or something like in my intestines, like right here. It was like a warm, it always was in the back of my mind, like, this isn't natural, but I just I went to the doctor to see about my heart one time, and they said that there was water on it, but that's, it's a little water's okay. Like just certain things. And I'm like, that's not okay.
Right.
I said something about this but every time, you're healthy, it's fine. And I'm like, then how come I'm out of breath? And,
right.
And then, so I actually became a yoga instructor just to start getting my electricity up, which is what I know now, hindsight's 2020, trying to get my electricity up. And so when I would do that, I know I would hold myself accountable for other people. I just wasn't doing it for myself.
Right.
So, but I was willing to do it for other people. And so I would go every time to the gym, and it was getting better, but it still wasn't the same as it is now that I know my nutrition is really, what changed things. Like it, exercise is for something totally different than nutrition. Like some of us have this philosophy that you exercise to lose weight, and it's really more of your nutrition when it comes to weight and things like that. So that definitely, so many ailments, I even posted on Facebook, like it was like 3 pages of stuff that, because I was paying attention, like over time, like all these things that were being healed. It wasn't just me either. It was the family. Even though they didn't go vegan immediately, and I like to say plant-based, but I know a lot of people say vegan. But when we went plant-based for 63 days, so many things were, I mean, the list just went on and on. PJ had something called stitches that got taken care of. Pete had acne all on his back, and he was so-called allergic to dandelions. That was gone. Sierra had, she used to get Charlie horses, and I'm trying to think, there was really some really big things that got taken care of, and I can't remember all of them, but it was pretty, it was some of them were pretty severe. It wasn't something that we were complaining about, but it was just that we know it wasn't natural. But all those things cleared up. So the body changes were definitely very evident. Like you could definitely tell.
Yes. And so did you lose a lot of weight? Because you had mentioned.
I wouldn't say a lot of weight, because again, I would like 124 is about where I used to play around. And now I probably am like 119. And sea moss, like you now, once you start learning your body and the foods, how you can really create your body. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I can say this, but like I never had like breastises. So with sea moss, it's like, Novene CTV, I got breastises.
Oh, really? So wait. So like, have you been working out or something too, or?
No, working out is not like it. Like, so basically,
I'm just asking, like, because you said so sea moss helped you.
It's a college, yeah. So like you really should learn how to grow and expand your body from within, what you consume, as opposed to the fictitious thoughts of externalizing things and looking for things on the external to help you.
Right.
Like you really, when you look at something, you should look, if I put this in my mouth, what is it going to do to this,
right.
this.
Right. And like with intention, kind of, right?
With intention. And so sea moss is like a natural collagen.
Oh.
And it goes to the right spots.
Yeah. Okay, girl.
Secret. That's a secret.
Right. So you don't have to go to a doctor, huh?
And guess what? When you go to the doctors, guess what they used to use? Sea moss.
Wow. See, I've heard the benefits of sea moss, but mostly like because my friend Rick Nelson sells it, right? But so he tells like mostly like, you know, kind of like from the man's point, because he's trying to, you know what I'm saying? And so like I know it gives you energy. I know and I've taken it before with my mother. So I noticed the energy that I've gotten, but he's also talked about some of the like benefits for a man sexually, right? Mm-hmm. And so but I don't know if he knows, but you know, I'd never heard anything from the woman's point of view. So that was good. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully I'm the first person on YouTube to say it, and me and you gonna get 1 million hits.
Look at me eating the sea moss like crazy. So what kind of sea moss? That's my favorite part of your videos. What kind of sea moss do you take? Is it the gel form, or what form of it is it?
Now I purchased it from Akeem Pierre, which is Rich Soul Foods. And his is the he sells it dry, and then I make it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I create the gel.
Okay.
And I've eaten it raw before, but never. I've just gotten used to doing it with the gel, that I don't, you know, just I haven't gotten, and then I know I will. I transition all the time. I'm sure one day I'll be like just eating it like this, and you'll be like, I thought it was a gel that you used. Like it was back then when we videotaped, but yeah. So I do the gel, and I do it pretty typically in the AM with just washing it down with water. Like I don't put it in a smoothie or anything.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to take it on a teaspoon, and my son was eating it too. And so like at first it's like, but for me, it wasn't like really the taste. It was like the texture, because I'm funny with textures. So
did you not get it real smooth?
The one I had wasn't real smooth. It was kind of like, you know, like the consistency of like tapioca pudding or something like that. From my memory, because I haven't had it since I was, you know, younger. But I liked it. Like it wasn't like that horrible, you know what I'm saying? Plus, because I knew it was good for you, right? So that was the whole purpose of me taking it. So I was like, it's just a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons, so I can deal with this, you know.
That's right.
So,
And you can put it back in your blender, just FYI, and put you a little water in there and blend it up yourself. Because whoever made it for you didn't have a high-powered blender.
right.
So it probably just didn't. Because when I get it, it's pretty much, you can drink it at some point.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. But what was I gonna say? So what are some of the other things, like, because you know people have different opinions of what they think. They say, oh, being vegan is too expensive. Oh, you're always hungry. Because they feel like you could only get full off of eating meat. So what do you have to say about people who thinks it's too expensive, or like that you're always hungry?
Okay, you better hold one of those, because you know me, I'll be on one and I'll forget the other one. But expensive, I saw perspective. Like, I have a yard full of dandelions right now that everybody's told that are weeds. Those are good eating. Those are edible plants. So those are free, you know, not free. Free means lack of value. Those are expressing themselves very beautifully and asking me to come indulge. And, you know, some people, you know, they have a thought process about that. And, you know, we don't know where it comes from the grocery store. It could be coming from somewhere. I'm not going to
Exactly.
say.
No, my oldest son Lewis has said that before. He said that. He said, like, we have this stuff. Look at the stuff in the yard. Like, these are greens. Like, look at this. This is. And so he was actually eating the stuff. I said, but I'm not eating that. But you know, he did. I said, I'll just wait to see, like, if you have a reaction.
I want to be with him because he sounds like a forager. I love foraging for things, and you know, I have a book called Wild Berries, and I'm just like, I'm gonna figure this out, you know, because I feel like that all this stuff is just around, so expensive.
Right.
Right. And you know, meat, of course, is expensive. And so you can, how I thought in my mind back then was, I'll transfer the meat for nuts and seeds. Because I was actually paying like $20 for some Brazil nuts at one point, when I realized that they're way too expensive there, that I should have went to Trader Joe's and got them for $6.99.
Right.
So that was, you know, so it's also about, once you go into that choice, just start researching and finding places, because again, Trader Joe's has Brazil nuts for $6.99. You know, now I am willing to go to 9 different stores. That's just who I am. I will travel around town to get me some good eating. So I can't say that everybody can do that, but I know one of the harsh ways people say it is, it's cheaper than disease.
That's what I was thinking, and I thought you were going to say that. Yeah.
I try not to, because I try to keep people engaged, and once you say things like that, it turns people off and they're done.
But I mean, but that's the truth, right? Because once you change your eating habit, and even doctors tell you that, even though that, you know, sometimes they, you know, want to just medicate you, but they let you know, like, if you change your diet, like, you don't have to be on these pills. It's like, so for me, like, a few years ago, they said I had high cholesterol. And so that's when I started trying to change the things that I eat, because I was like, I'm not going to take pills. I'm just going to change it with my diet, you know? And so, so I believe that, you know, that's the thing. Just like what our culture, you know, we have diabetes a lot. You know, my mom had diabetes. My brother has diabetes. But I know some of the stuff, you know, and my little niece just got, she just got diagnosed too. She's 14 years old with diabetes. And this is a good thing about her. So she has the thing that you put in your arm that monitors your blood sugar level, and her mother can like see it on her phone, right? And so she sees, like, when she gives her certain food, how it changes her blood sugar level. So that also shows you, like, how certain foods brings it down or brings it up. And so so she gets to see it, like, in real time, kind of.
Right.
And that helps her make the decisions on what to feed her daughter.
Right.
So I always known that, you know, what you eat can either make you sick or make you better.
This is true.
Yeah. And so, and I think maybe sometimes people might think that it's more expensive because, like, I know, like, of course, when you buy fruits and vegetables and stuff, you have to go to the store more often, because it's not like they're going to be sitting in a shelf, you know, in a can for a long time, because you want to get it fresh and stuff like that. So maybe that's what people think when they say it's more expensive.
Right. And you can get, we have staples too, like I feel like I eat more now than I did when I wasn't vegan. For instance, we eat 7 types of grain now, like fonio, teff, spelt, rye, quinoa, what are it's like two more kamut. They're not coming to me fast.
Right. No, that's fine. But see, because some of those are like I've never heard of. I've only heard of like spelt rye and quinoa, but like the other ones I haven't heard of.
Well, see, I hadn't even heard of quinoa when I first started, and it's like so it became like this new adventure of finding things that I could eat that resonated with me. It's not, you know, you can eat anything you want, but is it resonating with you? What is it? Is it vibrating you? Is it electrifying you? Like, and I remember the other question was getting full.
Right.
You don't really want to technically get full, because when you're full, you're
like sluggish. Yeah, go to sleep. Yeah.
And we're living beings. Like, we're supposed to be living and being, you know. So if you're eating things that are getting you full, and this is still the journey of what I'm learning, it's just like, okay, so when I'm eating raw, I'm not very sleepy. Like, I'm literally up at like, and typically, you know, like when Pete and I first met, you know, he was the night owl and I'm knocked out, woke up at 6, 7 o'clock with the sun. And I'm like, you know, so we had that conflict. Now I can roll with him. I'm like, you know, what we doing now, you know, but at the same time, it's like, because I have so much time and energy, it's like, okay, now I have to find something to do with my time. And now comes your passions, things that you wanted to do in life. So now I got 9 streams of income. You know, it's like before I didn't have, you know, before I was eating my mac and cheese and and waking up and doing it all over again. But now it's like it's retraining my ideas of living.
Right.
You know, a whole lifestyle change. It really is a lifestyle change.
Right. And a mindset, like you're saying too. That's good. But you mentioned macaroni and cheese. Do you make vegan macaroni and cheese or no?
I do. I love now, and let me see, like, so it's more of a okay, so cheese for us now, let's say avocado. I'm going to give y'all one of my authentic soul food kitchen recipes. So avocado oil, onion powder, cayenne pepper, and Himalayan salt is pretty much like an avocado cheese. And if you want to make any kind of cheese, whether it be a walnut butter cheese, a tahini butter cheese, all you do is add, it's the same kind. Like, for instance, sesame seed, you would add to tahini to get that tahini cheese. Okay. If you're looking for a walnut cheese, you can use the walnut oil, the same 3 seasonings with the walnuts, and you know, you just make that into, and so all those can be cheeses. So I have nut butter cheeses, I have avocado cheese, and then like a butternut squash cheese. You know, you may have to mix the avocado oil because there's no such thing as a butternut oil, but you could mix the avocado oil with the butternut oil and get that cheesy flavor. And I mean, if you play around with it and become an alchemist in your kitchen, you know, you can pretty much find those same savory tastes that Grandmama Nim had, and never miss a beat. I mean, you will never miss a beat.
That sounds good. I want to come to your house now and eat.
Come on.
Next time I come out there, I'm coming to eat.
Okay.
So speaking of that, like on holidays, like, do you ever like make dishes like that and take it to the family functions? And if you do they eat them?
And what's so interesting, every single thing that I've made, everywhere I've taken, they love it. I think the catch is the mindset. Like when I tell people, oh, you know, this is going to be good or whatever, it's like I find myself, when I offer it to people, they're like, oh, I'm not plant-based. Exactly. I eat meat. Exactly. But it's like, you still can eat the side. Like, this is, so it's almost like trying to get over that hurdle of, it's okay to eat what I eat. You know, it's just that I don't eat what you're eating, but you can actually eat what I eat. Like, trust me. And so my brother's lifestyle is completely different, of course. And so my sister told me that when he talks to her, he's like, I can't lie. Every time I go over there, she fixed something and it's good. So it's like trying to get through that mindset of, when I create something, because typically if I created, a lot of times it really came from me creating it, because I remember when I first started, transitioning, I was like, is this what it's come to? I'm looking at lettuce and tomato like. So then I just started finding my creative side, and I was like, okay, grandmama now, they used to use this. I can't use that, but I can use this. Right. And so then I just started supplementing. Oh. So it got good. It started getting, and I was always told that I was pretty good culinary artist with the, the other foods anyway. Right. So now I just like, okay, I can make this work, Dr.
Sabi. Right. Okay. And speaking of that, don't you have a cookbook?
I do. It's called the Authentic Soul Food Digital Recipe. Well, Authentic Soul Food Recipe. Okay, I'm gonna get it, people.
It's okay.
Authentic Soul Food Kitchen Digital Recipe Guide. It's a digital recipe guide, and in the back of my brain, I have so many other ones coming up because I do want to do a meal guide. I've already kind of started wanting to do a children's recipe book. So I got all these things flooding me, and it's just like I want to tell her about the one that's already here. Right. Authentic Soul Food Kitchen Digital Recipe Guide. And so it's a guide to kind of like what I've already just expressed, where you just take Grandmama Nim's recipes and you take Dr. Sabi's nutritional guide and you just substitute.
Right. Yes.
And the foods they taste great. I mean, at the end of the day, no one really eats meat without good seasonal herbs on top of it.
Right.
So if you take those good seasonal herbs and you put it on, something like you said, you're a texture person. So something with the same texture, you're going to find yourself like, that's pretty good. Especially when you add the component of it's going to resonate and electrify you.
Right.
So it's a completely different thought process.
Right.
That has to take place.
Right. A few years ago when my niece, Kamori, she was part of a hackathon, and they had like a banquet, and we went to the banquet, and all they had was vegan food, right? But it was vegan soul food. And so, we tasted it. Even my nieces, they're teenagers. They were like, this is good, because it has some kind of like chicken nuggets or whatever. And I'm not sure if it was made out of tofu or what, but it was made out of something. But everything that we tried was so good. And that's what they talked about, the seasoning. It's the seasoning, because that's what really makes everything good, right? The seasoning. And so they were saying like most vegan food is so flavorful because of the different seasonings that they use. Yeah. So that was a good experience for us. I was like, okay, we can do this. And in Oakland, there's a place called Solely Vegan. It's a Black-owned vegan soul food restaurant, and I love that place. It's so good. And so, but where I live, there's not too many restaurants like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and I like to eat out often. That's why I'm saying restaurants, because I like to try something, and then if I like it, I say, oh, let me try to make this at home.
Right.
But I will purchase your cookbook. And where can we find that? I'm going to put the link in the description, but can you tell us right now, like where can we buy that from?
Okay, well, right now I've been just kind of using Peter J Enterprises, which is my son. He has his own business as well. So I've just kind of been sending everybody to his webpage to order, because mine it's up right now, but it is going to be under construction. So, once we get our 1 million views, I don't want to send people. I don't want to send people to mine when his, I know, is up and running and will be, something. So we'll just go with that one for now.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And you can text me that or email it to me so then I can put it in there.
I will.
That's good. That's good. What was the hardest food for you to give up?
Cheese.
I know, I love cheese.
Cheese. Oh my gosh. Like, but once I found that little secret that I gave you about how to make cheese, I was impressed. I was so impressed. One of course, American favorite, the pizza. If you actually load your pizza with a bunch of vegetables, you'll almost think the cheese is there. So I became, it became a pizza pie for me, just a bunch of pizza. I mean, a bunch of vegetables. And it was just kind of like, and then if you season it up just right, it's good stuff. But cheese was, it's definitely the hardest.
You said cheese after you gave up fish, which I thought was interesting because, but I knew that was going to be the thing, cheese.
Yeah, and it took me a minute for cheese. And I think it was my extremist friends that helped me with the cheese, because they were like, the animal cruelty and da-da-da. And so I'm listening, and I'm ear hustling, and I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm not gonna do it anymore. Okay, but oh Lord Jesus. Yeah, so I'm still trying to mimic, even in my recipe guide. I haven't mimicked as far as the look of cheese, but I still haven't been able to get that gooey look coming off of I haven't got that yet. I'm working on it.
Right. So that's the food that you miss the most?
Miss the most, definitely. Yeah, because part of me just feels like, I know this is like so like when it comes to like nursing your children and things like that, like I'm just thinking like, breast milk and things like that is just like, I'm like, well, it's kind of natural. You're not harming the animal per se, but then the way we do reproductive, like the way we're producing things,
right,
it's kind of like, oh, Sean, you're just trying to keep something that
right. It's not like if you had your own cow and then you were milking your own cow, that's fine. But the dairy cows, they're not treated right. They're just in that little stall and they're getting milked all day. Like that's no.
Right.
So it's still not okay.
Yeah. And for me too, now, like I said, it's more so of like just a weird story that I had one time. Like, I think usually I'm very patient with people. And I think at this time I was nursing PJ, and he pulled off the blanket, and some man, and this is before I was vegan, and he pulled off the blanket, and so now I'm exposed, it's like PJ, and so he's like something to the point of, you need to go to the bathroom. And I was like, do you eat in the bathroom?
Right.
And then he's like, well, that's just nasty or something. I said, well, what's more nasty, him drinking from his mother, or you drinking from the tit of a cow? And this is before I was vegan. But I was so done that day, because it's like, as women especially, it's like we're always subjected to these negative thoughts of nature. Like, this is nature. This is me sustaining my beautiful baby, and you have perverted it. It's like, miss me with that, it's like, and I was done. And it's funny because now that I reflect back on that during this time of being plant-based, it's interesting that just flowed out of my mouth like that.
Right.
It's just like, you go in the bathroom and eat your cheeseburger with your
I hate when people try to shame mothers for breastfeeding. Like, that's the most natural, healthiest thing for the baby. And that's to do it because everybody doesn't have milk to give their baby, right? So I just that makes me mad hearing.
Right. Yeah. Right. And being respectful. Like, I had the it over, and I want to say a lot of times I typically do kind of hide myself, but I think at this particular time, I think PJ was just, he had it. Yeah. We were somewhere where it was like, I don't want this baby to cry right now. It's like, I really want the energy to be right. And so at this time, I'm doing all I can to make sure and then you gonna come at me like that? Oh man, I had I had it.
was gonna ask you. Oh, so I noticed sometimes, like when people say they're vegan, people act like they're saying like the worst thing. People act like that you're sitting up there saying like I worship the devil or something. I don't know. Like I've killed 90 kids. Like when you're just saying I'm vegan, like the way that they respond.
Right.
Like, did your family respond to you like that, or any of your friends when you told them that you're becoming vegan?
My family didn't, because I've always been the, what is it? The black sheep of some sort. Like I'm always the front runner of everything. Like I'm the zealous one. Come on, guys, let's go get baptized. Let's go get saved. Come on, guys. You know, so they're like, here she comes with something new. So my immediate family didn't. I do think that I'm a lot more passionate about this than all the other stuff, because now it's a little more of just my thoughts, and it's like it almost feels like the vibration is separating me a little bit, and I definitely don't feel shunned. I think it's more of the vibrational change, the vibrational shift that's happening. I really do, that's a hard one. But as far as I know what you're talking about, though, I have seen that. I've seen people hide that they were vegan.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, but I haven't really had to. Like, I've even remember counseling the person who was hiding it. Like, it's just who you are. But the reason why they hide it is because they have gotten shunned. So I guess I can say there was a school where we got somewhat shunned for it. And it's more so, I think, of the unknown, the not knowing component. It's not so much that they shun us for, I don't know. I think it's just the unknown. It's hard for me to judge other people why they feel that way. Because like I said, I don't feel any different towards anyone else. At least I don't feel like I do. But I mean, heck, even saying there's a vibrational change may be offensive to some people. But you can see the shift. Like my ideas of what I want to talk about, like I do want to talk about plant-based living and health a lot. And like I said, if you are not, then, it's kind of like, I don't want to talk about that every time I talk to you. It's like, I want to talk about something else. And so I really do think that there's other things that I can talk about. But I mean, heck, if you get into books, I want to talk about the high vibrating books. If we're talking about traveling, I want to talk about going and planting my feet where the vegetables are, So it's like, it's not personal, it's spiritual. I took that from an artist by the name of Tony Jones. She says, my separations aren't personal, they're just spiritual. Like I'm really starting to vibrate at a different frequency that's saying, like I said, I'm not asleep at 8 and 9 o'clock anymore. I'm up like, can I really go? Like, I really had to find out, like Sierra, when we went vegan, this girl was doing her homework, 6 a.m. I come downstairs trying to get, like, looking for her because I had went to her room. She wasn't there. I'm like, where is this child at? She's downstairs at the table still doing homework. And I said, Sierra. She said, oh, yeah. She said, I haven't been to sleep, but I'm ready. No, you're not. You're getting ready to go up. So I called in and said, Sierra's not feeling 100% today.
Yeah.
But she's not going to school on no sleep.
Right.
So then that day, I'm up now researching vegan lifestyle. Can people really go this long? Come to find out, some of the mentors I actually research now sleep every other day.
Wow.
Some people only need like 4 hours of sleep. Like if you eat raw, like there's so much life in that. Technically, sleeping is really just fasting. It's your body healing. So you can go longer periods of time without, sleeping. Now you need rest,
right?
But you don't have to like heal.
Right.
Like, you're really going to sleep to heal. So, I'm just learning. So like now my lifestyle, it's like now, can I talk to you about that? Like, I don't care what you eat, but can we talk about these things, and sometimes, they don't want to hear me. So it's like, first of all, they, are they open-minded enough to even believe what I just said?
Right. Well, luckily you have, your husband and your 2 kids that you guys are on this journey together. But so who was first? Like, what was the order of, I know PJ was last of everybody becoming vegan.
Yeah, I was first, and I always like to say I was a bully in the kitchen because if I'm cooking it, you're eating it. So I was first, hubby was second, and we were experiencing such good rewards and benefits that I was just thinking, how am I going to get this to my kids? This is so beautiful. And it's like, I don't want them. So I literally started getting up every morning, and it was like I had a toddler, because I was cooking for Sierra, her breakfast, her lunch, her dinner, because I wanted, because she's at the age now where she could do it herself.
Right.
But I wanted to offer her this before she went to college.
Yeah.
And it worked. But, I did it not pushy. I just, my first thought was, how can I? And she actually came to us and said, because we all did that first run together anyway. No. It was just Pete and I who did it first. Now I'm trying to remember. Somehow we all did it together. Maybe me and Pete extended it.
Yeah.
And then she actually just came around and said, I really want to do it. Because we were, when you do something like that, you're so amazed. Like, Pete, your cousin has always had this little, they called him an appetite. He always had a little gut. So even Miss Scott, even his mom, never seen him with abs.
Right.
So when Pete got abs, oh man, we went to UK to see PJ, and he hit the ceiling. He said, Daddy! And so Sierra was like, I want some abs, And so she, she went in. So she was third. And then PJ, like I said, he just came around. Now, he's been vegetarian right after college.
Yeah.
But then he finally went that plant-based over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I was just thinking, like, the last time I came out there to Kentucky and saw both of you and Pete, I was like, wow, like, you guys look so good. Like, you guys look younger. I noticed Pete's body check. I didn't really know that he had like a little pooch before, but I just remember that I was like, this is the best I've ever seen Pete look ever in life. You know what I'm saying? And so I was, telling my sisters about that. I was like, wow, like, you guys you aged in reverse. So that's what I know that it's, from the way that you're eating, and then how spiritual you are, it's everything is aligning, and it shows on the external part of you.
Thank you. And I had a cousin that told me that, and it was like the best compliment ever. And she was just like, you look like you're getting younger every time I see you. And I was like, yay. And so that's what I mean by I had to come over that hurdle of the things that, initially I didn't know what health looks like. And now with hearing compliments like that, it's like, I know what it sounds like. It's like that, because I see it for myself, and it's just affirming it for me. It's just like, yes, so initially with all the detoxing, it's kind of like, oh no, so you think that's the new you, that all the detoxing, but once the detoxing period is over, then you start getting shapely. And I mean, I said it about the breasts, but I ain't tell you I got hips too, girl.
Go ahead, girl.
And this is exciting. And you really learn to shape yourself.
Right.
Like, you really start learning too. That it's like, I can really eat to shape myself. Like, if I want to look a certain way, it's just like, add a little more.
That's cute. I love that. That's cute. But yeah, but like, your arms are cut, like everything, your body is like really, really, really nice. Like, you look good.
Thank you. Now, the cut arms, I've always had my dad, like, because now when I was eating meat and stuff like that, I remember a lady asked me about me. It's like, oh, your arms are so cut. And she's like, you know, what do you owe that to? I said, oh, well, my dad. She's like, oh, so you lift your dad?
Like, no, genetic.
I'm like, no, biologically, my dad is just real cut. So, so that I can say came from the Papa Jack, but I definitely feel like that, you know, going through, you know, just kind of, now that's where I think exercise comes in, like the toning and keeping up with that. Because one of the things I noticed too is like, I'm getting so personal, but it, you know, you'll find a place for me or add it if you need to. But just walking, like it just seemed like one of my little butt cheeks was bigger than the other. But when I start, it's mental. So
Right.
I started walking with my left leg first, and it plumped up my left side. Cause I was like, why is this side always plumper than this side? But it's because I get out of the bed with the right foot. I put my pants on with the right foot. I do everything with the right foot. But mentally, when I start going with the left and my CMOS.
Got the body, okay. That's it.
Over here, I'm building myself.
You gotta spice up the relationship. It's been 30 years.
That's right. It's been 30 years.
Yeah. So he's like, I got a new one. That's good.
That's right.
So, but once you start like intentionally putting good things in your body, like what I guess my first question is, have you ever or do you like drink alcohol or smoke or anything like that?
I do not. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. A lot of the reason is, again, watching my mom going through some of the ailments that she went through. My mom smoked. She was smoking as early as like 14, I think. And I remember us creating a pact where she would try to stop smoking and I was trying to stop eating sugar. And that's where I first learned that sugar is an addiction. Like,
yeah, it is.
I had 2 bathrooms. My mama was upstairs smoking in one, and I was downstairs eating chocolate and hiding from each other, trying to keep our pack. So sugar is very addictive. And so watching her struggle with that, you know, and then alcohol, you know, it's one of those family things that I just think that it's empty sugars. I really always had to have a purpose for something. And once upon a time, I was given a purpose for alcohol. I was told that it was good for you, the amount of it. But upon my research, I don't see the benefits. I do the Revitral, if I'm saying that right, inside of the grape juice, which I think gets the same benefits.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm more of a grape juice drinker. So whenever you add something that's artificial or not indigenous, then I start backpedaling until I get kind of a good foundation of what, you know, is it natural? Is it in nature? So alcohol for me is, I think it has yeast. I think it has a lot of empty sugars that have no practical usage for the body. So yeah, I've never really, there was a period of time where I drank, never to the point of, I remember one time I drank with some of my aunts because my mother had passed, and this was the group of aunts that my mother was always with. And it was kind of like my dad's brother's wives. And so I was like, I'm representing Peggy, you know. So I had my little drink, and girl, my head was on the table, and I said, because I don't want to say I'm a control freak, but I'm a control freak.
Right,
and I don't like something else trying to control me. It's like, I'm the boss.
Right. That's why I never did drugs. Well, besides marijuana, but that's why I never did drugs, because I didn't want something to control me. Right. I have to be in control of my mind and the things that I'm doing.
That's right.
Yeah. So speaking of marijuana, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that's natural, or
Definitely. I definitely think it's natural. I've never had marijuana. I love the smell of it.
Yeah.
But I also feel like I can tell the difference between good marijuana and bad marijuana, because I think that bad marijuana be giving me a headache.
Yep.
but I don't know enough about it. I personally, PJ helped me with this. Don't think I would smoke it, because I'm just thinking about what it does, like, to your esophagus. Like, were you ever meant to really inhale something like that? Like, it's all research for me. Like, I don't want to be finite on anything. I'm not sure, because I haven't researched it enough. I do know that I guess it's marijuana part has to be with all females to grow. So the hemp is kind of like spliced out. And so I do a lot of hemp.
Yeah.
Marijuana, by it not being legal right now, I think in California.
Oh, it's not legal out there. Oh, yes, legal out here. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we went to the my cousin took me to the candy store. So we went, but I want to see it green first. Like if I'm really into nature, so I want to see the plant myself first. Like I want to see how it was raised. I want to see how it's grown. So I didn't do it. So at this to date, I have still not had marijuana, but it is on the to-do list. But I wanted like, somebody told me the way I want it, I can't have it. Like, I want it juiced. And they said, girl, you can't juice no marijuana. That's too much juice. Right. You gonna fly out of here.
Yeah, I thought, because I was looking into it, like for anxiety and stuff like that. And so I was looking into like tea, right? So I was like, if I could just get the leaves and make tea. But then once I researched, I was like, you can't do that. You have to like make the can of butter first and then make the tea. I was like, oh, that's too much. But like when my mom was sick, with cancer, and she wasn't eating and she was losing all that weight, we were trying to get something that can help her gain weight and eat. And so we went to the cannabis store in Vallejo, and a guy there, like, I told him what we were looking for, what was going on with my mom. And so he, took the time to find something that didn't have sugar, because, sugar feeds cancer and it makes it, worse. So he found something that didn't have sugar. And we were saying, like, she didn't want to get high. Like, right. She didn't want that effect. We were just trying to help her, relax, eat, and gain weight. And so he had found the stuff to give us. But at that time when I went, I also, for me, I had got some gummies, just because, like I said, for my anxiety and like to help me sleep. And so, my tolerance is super low. So I got like the smallest dose of it. And then I had to like eat half of a gummy. So when I ate half of a gummy, like I was just out sleep, but I was able to get a whole night's sleep uninterrupted. You know what I'm saying? And feel, when I woke up, feel like I got some rest.
Right.
And so I would just use it like on occasion, like if I go too many days without really sleeping, then I would use a gummy or something like that, just to help me, like, to take the edge off and to help me sleep.
Right. And so that's two different kinds. Now is that right? Like stevia? Is that what it's called? It's
like sativa, you're saying?
Sativa, yeah, that's it. So is that the upper? Because I heard there was like an upper and then a...
Yeah, see, that's what I heard too. And one of my cousins, Kiana, she works at that same store. And she had told me that when I went back to go get some more, and she told me that one was the upper. She said the one that I got was supposed to like keep you up. And I said, well, that didn't do that for me. I said, when I had half, I was asleep, like, because the first time I took it, I was in bed though, but I was sitting up, and then I just woke up the next morning. So I don't know what the hell happened, right?
And see, that is so why I want the natural plant, because I'm thinking the same thing, because, I'm with my cousins and we vibing, and, they got, we at the candy store, and I'm thinking, I know for me, I'm already naturally high. Right. It's just like, if I get the wrong one.
Girl. I was just asleep. So I said, I don't know what you're talking about, because, and then I tried the other one. So I forgot what indigo, I think indigo and
yeah, something like that.
Both of them make me sleep. So I don't know what to do. I was like, I've never like took an edible and then like stayed up. Like, I'm going to eat half and I'm going to sleep. That's what happens. So I don't know the difference, but my body said rest.
So that's what I'm saying. So you just affirmed for me. I better wait until my instincts say, go for it, because I'm telling you, it'll be what I think for me, where you're a little more low key and I'm more through the roof. I can see both of them being like, send her on up there, you know, like, I'm like, no, but I do want, that is on my to-do list. It is a bucket list of mine.
Yeah. But like I said, I just use it to like help me deal, you know, but what I was gonna say, oh, and they also told me, this was one thing, because I've always been scared to eat edibles, because like one time my brother, he was trying to give me something, like a sucker or something like that, and I was like, you know, I was scared of it because people would say that they would be high for like days. Who wants to do that? Like I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that's stupid. But the guy at the store told me like if you get too high, you're supposed to take CBD, because CBD brings you down. So, because you know, marijuana has a THC, it, you know, makes you high. And then if you're too high, you take the CBD. I said, why don't people know this? Like people should know instead of being high for 3 days. Like,
yeah. And see, that's what I mean by the research, because the CBD is like the oil, right? Like, because I have been interested in.
It comes in different forms.
Yeah. Well, I know it based on the oil, and I was thinking, oh, well, then maybe it could be like an essential oil where I could burn it and have. So now you got the CBD oil, then you have the hemp, then you have the marijuana. So my thought was that's splicing, like that's 3 different forms that, and I'm just like, when I'm being the naturalist that I am, they're all supposed to be whole.
Right.
So how can I get marijuana, CBD, and hemp all in one? And I don't know, this could be my naive brain working, that may not supposed to be, because like I said, in order to create marijuana, you're not supposed to have I think the feminine plants have to be by themselves, and you can't have the masculine plants. So again, I'm not an expert, I'm learning, but until I know, and I feel like, you know, I feel safe enough, you know, to take it, in the sense of, with me already being out there. So
oh, one more thing though, because I just remember, so the first thing that we got, my brother had got it from one of his friends, some CBD oil. And so, and that's not supposed to get you high at all, right?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, it's not supposed to. So we gave my mom 2 drops, because I think it said like get 4 drops. We gave her 2 drops. She was high as a kite. And so I have a video. Oh my God. It was so funny, because she was listening to some music and she was like just singing and stuff, and like her nurse had called us, right? So we were cracking up, because like we were recording her and stuff. Her nurse had called, and we told her nurse, like, she's over here high. She was like, what? So we told her, you know, what we gave her, and I said, they say it doesn't get you high, but I had even put like a drop on my arm, my hand at first, just to see. And I felt high. So I was like, I told my brother, he said, no, it doesn't get you high. I said, dude, like it got me high, and mommy is over here singing and stuff and cracking up. Like she's feeling good. So it might not get you high because you smoke weed.
Right.
But who don't, yes, it does.
Everybody's biological chemistry is made different. Because even PJ, I'm telling you, that child on hemp seed cheese, because that's another cheese that we make. I create the hemp, there's hemp oil, and the hemp seed, and the sea salt, and the onion powder, and the cayenne pepper, just in case I missed that earlier. You mix that together, you got hemp seed cheese. Well, we put that on a lettuce wrap. That little boy was sitting down 1 minute, next minute he's throwing me over couches, wrestling with his daddy, and we told him go sit down, and he's doing push-ups, and we're like, the heck? So, you know, it's energy, it's electricity. You know, our food is electric. That's why I do believe that is a natural indigenous plant, because it's an electric plant. It's just that I want the whole plant, like, you know, but I'm having my hemp seed, and my son is like showing signs of, he act like he high off of some hemp.
Have you ever made hemp milk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's very similar. So you make the milk first. It's a little more liquidy. And then you know how, even when, I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, where you used to use the cow's milk and shake it, and it made the cheese.
Oh, that sounds
Well, we did that in school, where you just keep shaking it, and it creates the cheese. So I kind of took that same concept that was in the back of my mind to make hemp milk, or any kind of milk, but any milk butter, and you can turn it into a cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, like I said, textures and stuff. But I just thought about oat milk. Anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't a milk drinker. It's so funny. I did not like milk, but I love cheese.
Yeah. Cheese. No, it's different. But like now we drink like almond milk. Like we have almond milk before, oat milk, hemp seed milk, but like that we buy from the store. Like we haven't made it yet ourselves. But you know, I've been trying to get away from dairy and stuff. But like cheese is our weakness. But I don't. My youngest son only gets regular milk like from school, like when because they give like lunches and stuff. And so when he goes to get his lunch, he gets the 2% milk. But I don't we don't buy that. We just do like the almond milk and stuff like that. So like we're trying to ease away from it. But you know, it's hard, especially like when I'm like for me, I try to choose healthy choices, but like when I'm stressed or something like that, like my comfort food is like steak tacos and like fried fish. But other times I try to, and then I have a weakness for vegetarian pizza. But I try to you know, I'm trying not to fry so much food, trying to just eat better, you know, because my ultimate goal is to become vegan later. But,
Yay!
Yeah. but then I also like, you know, I just want to be like, I don't like being like in lines, right? Like I want to do what I want to do, right? So like
you don't want to have to think, because that's what I said as I was transitioning. It's like, is my life always going to be me thinking about food, you know? And yeah, and I don't want to always think about it, but I'm starting to find my way. You know, I'm finding my balance. Again, a big part of that is transitioning that energy that you spend on creating menus. What are you going to eat? What are you going to feed the family, to actually focusing on creating revenue, you know, curating YouTubes,
right.
You know, just you transfer that energy over into something passionate that, you know, and so I'm not as, you know, pressed about what I'm eating anymore, because you know, I'm getting high on Novene CTV. You know, we're transmuting energy, you know, we're vibing, you know, and now I'm starting to learn about myself on different levels and not just the physical level. Like you really do have to be able to discipline yourself on the physical level in order to allow those emotional intelligence to kick in, you know, that mental to kick in. You know, it's just like, you have to control, you're in control, you know, you can't let that physical body control you. And that's kind of like my journey right now that I'm learning. It's just like the higher self should be the one telling the physical self what to do. It shouldn't be the other way around. Like you said, comfort food, we all have it. Like that sugar, I'm telling you, me and my mama, we in 2 separate bathrooms hiding. And I figured it out. I was like, yeah, I'm smoking, but I can't say nothing because I'm down here eating this chocolate.
And speaking of chocolate, are there like vegan forms of chocolate or desserts or stuff that you can eat that can satisfy if you still have a sweet tooth?
Yes. So all of that again is in the Authentic Soul Food Kitchen Recipe Guide. So we have my favorite switch from Dr. Sebi is dates. Have you ever had a dried date, a seeded date from have you tasted it? Have you got like a good batch? Because sometimes they're dry, but I mean, if you get like a really good, soft, chewy batch, I don't know, it could be that I had been without a candy bar for a long time. That bad boy tasted like a Tootsie Roll.
No, it doesn't. No, it's so look, so growing up, my father's Muslim, right? So he always ate dates, like, so we didn't grow up like eating pork. So that's why some stuff is easy for me. Like you said, from the rooter to the tutor, no, we didn't do none of that. And I didn't really eat, I mean, I ate pepperoni and stuff like that, or like pork chops later, but I'm not really, or ham.
Bacon, did you eat bacon?
Yeah, and that's another thing. Sometimes I still do that, but most times I eat turkey bacon. But sometimes when I'm stressed and I go to a restaurant, I eat bacon. But like growing up, we didn't have that. So I didn't start eating that till I was older. But dates, like my dad would always have dates, and they're very sweet. Because my brother-in-law, he has them at the house, and I was like, ooh, dates, right? So I tasted one, and I like the texture of it because it's like, the texture is kind of like a sugary type texture or something like that. So yeah, no, dates are good.
Yeah, so that's kind of like one of my staples, because I used to be the candy bar queen. Like I love me some candy bars. So that's one of the things. But I usually like the natural candy bars, if there is a such thing, like the paydays with the nuts,
Oh, yeah.
the almond joys with the almonds,
Yeah.
the mounds with the nuts, so I usually can be satisfied with, say, a brazel nut
Right.
and a date.
Okay.
And that's one of my little recipes.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm good with that. And then, you can pretty much make anything. You can make pie crust out of that. You can add, just like if you were making oatmeal raisin cookies, you could change it to quinoa raisin or quinoa cherries, and cookies, and you can really make it taste the texture of a cookie. So, there's all kind of little things that you can do. I just had an interview with a friend of mine that owned a restaurant, and hers, she made the best key lime pie. And it was all Dr. Sabi approved. And oh, that was a wonderful pie.
So good.
There's ways.
Yeah. One time I made what kind was it? Was it banana nut or blueberry? I think it was banana nut vegan muffins. Because I had got the recipe from actually what's his name? Waka Flocka. the rapper. One time he was on a show making them, and so I got that recipe, and then I made it and from my kids, they liked it. They were moist and they were good. Yeah, but it's been a while since I did that, because when I get busy with school and stuff, then I don't really take the time to make certain things, So I have to get back in it. I'd say the summer is my time when I can do that, because that's when, life is a little bit slower. So that's when I'll try to get back into baking and try to eat more healthy too.
Right. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Are there any of your businesses that you would like to plug? I will put, your YouTube channel information and your son's website below in the description, but is there anything else that, and your recipe book, is there anything else that you would like to talk about, to let the people know?
Just, this is going to be a YouTube tag. I'm also a YouTuber. Yay!
Tell them on your YouTube.
Yeah, so I'm going to be interviewing Novene TV. So you guys can come on over to my channel and see that interview. And so hopefully we can plug it on the same day. Like, you put yours up, and then you put yours up at the same time I put mine up, and then they can just kind of swap.
Girl, I don't know how to do that, but we'll talk about it.
I can wait for you.
But if not, it's fine. I mean, they can go to your channel and watch other stuff. They don't have to watch mine.
Oh, yeah. Come on over.
Channel and watch other stuff too. We have different topics that we talk about, so they need to check out all the videos, not just one video.
Yeah. So my YouTube channel is just pretty much Mondays. I do a lot of what we've been talking about. Holistic eating. Per se, I'm really into the indigenous eating, and then Fridays so far it's been about self-love. So I'm all about how to love self and ways to love self. 2020 kind of hit everybody pretty rough, and so if it taught me anything, it taught me to prepare. So now I'm just kind of putting ideas back in the minds of a lot of our community, saying, guys, we've been here before. We know how to come out of things,
Right.
It's so let's get back to what we know. It's not that big of a deal. And, and I don't want to be insensitive, because I do know that a lot of people are, some of us are in ships and some of us are in small paddle boats,
Right.
So I get it. But at the same time, I feel like ether, air, sun, water, and earth, they're all abundantly available to us. Those are our natural resources, and
Right.
you cannot take those for granted. You have to pay attention to what your true power is, and those are our natural power sources. And you can't be so distracted by the media and things that are going on and not realize that in order to heal yourself, in order to get electrified, you can do that within yourself, but you do have to discipline self. Like you have to discipline and go back to what you know to be true: ether, air, sun, water, and earth, you know.
Right,
And so
right.
that's kind of what my channel is about, you know, is just pretty much trying to get that, you know, that perspective back. That's all. It's innate in each one of us, you know. It's an instinct, you
Right.
know. For instance, one of the things I always tell the kids, like when we had an animal, I don't have any pets anymore, but we did at one point. We would give him water from the faucet, and he would never drink the water for like a couple turns. Like he would go around the water bowl a couple times, and now hindsight, I know that he was allowing the fumes of whatever came off of that water to come out, and then he would drink that water. When he would get sick, he would go out in nature and he would eat grass. You know, he didn't say, oh, well, where does this plant come from? Is this any good? He just knew. Like when I nursed PJ, he knew to root for me. I didn't have to teach him to root. So there are natural instincts that we have that sometimes intellect gets in the way, and we're not allowing ourselves just to feel our way through.
Right.
And ether, air, sun, water, and earth, come back.
And so you put out 2 videos a week, Monday and Friday, right?
Yeah, right now I have been, I may slow down a little bit because, you know, I want to become a really good content curator. I'm just new at it right now. And as you can tell, I feel like I'm better of an interviewee than I have to learn how to interview like people, and because I'm such a talker that as soon as they say something, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm like, shh, let them talk, you know. So this is good for me because you're asking me questions, and I'm like, yeah. So I will probably try to curate better content. I mean, not that I really enjoy the content that I have, but I want to make sure I'm getting that artistic flow, that creative juices, you know. So I may wait a little longer, but right now, yes, Mondays is nutrition, Fridays is love, self-love.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I was so excited when I saw that you had a YouTube channel. And like I was like, ooh, she's about to be on my YouTube. I had you written down in my book, like when I first saw.
Same. I'm telling you, it was the same. I literally came out of body when I was going scrolling through Facebook, and I seen you put up that you had a YouTube channel. I said, ah! I was like, I know I got one YouTube tag.
Yeah, because I have so many people that I know that I want to interview, but they don't know it yet, you know, that they're going to be on my show. But luckily, all the people that I have asked so far, I think except one, they have just said yes right away.
Right.
And so that has been a blessing, and so I hope, you know, it keeps on flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I really appreciate you, and I thank you so much for coming on Novene CTV.
Most definitely.
With us, and you know, and I will be talking to you too, like I said, about different recipes and stuff. I'm going to get your recipe book, and when I come out to Kentucky, I will come to your house and eat. And and then later, Pete's going to be on the show to talk about, and all my other cousins out there too in Kentucky. But
good stuff.
So I'm gonna do the little wrap up, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So once again, thank you, Coach Scott, for coming on and telling us about healthy living and sharing.
Hey, can I stop you?
Yes.
I didn't get to ask my question. I watch Novene CTV, and everybody gets to ask the question. So I've been hoarding my question.
Thank you. Oh my God. You have to come back and do it. Okay. Oh, thank you. Somebody, I don't think I had it written on my thing because I looked at all the questions. Okay. So this Coach Scott has corrected me. I almost forgot. Everybody who comes on my show, like she just said, gets a chance to ask me a question. So I'm scared. What's Coach Scott.
Scared. It's just crystals. I remember the last setting we were all talking and we were talking about crystals, and I remember the rose quartz was your favorite.
Yeah.
So my thing is it still your favorite, or have you been like diving deeper into crystals or anything and you have a new favorite, or how's that going?
I'm trying to look because I have I'm a fanny pack lady. But I thought I had my but I just changed fanny pack. I thought I had my regular crystal quartz, but I don't. But yeah, so rose quartz is still like my best friend, and I feel like it has helped me through so much. Like even like when I was at junior college, I took a geology class, and so I was so happy in that class because they had all the crystals. You know, they call them rocks, but they had all the crystals on the around the room. So like when I would take an exam, I went over there and got this big old thing of rose quartz, and I sat it right there on my on my desk. And then so I would touch it, and then the guy across from me, he was so nervous and everything. I said, "Dude, here." I said, I call it Rose. I said, "Here, touch Rose, and she will calm you down. Like you need to chill out, just get some of that energy." And so the one that I was trying to pull out was a regular crystal quartz, and it's white, and it's jagged and raw. And so I use it sometimes, like because sometimes I've been having problems with my stomach, and so like when my stomach is upset, I will take the crystal quartz and I'll lay down and I'll lay it on my stomach, and I swear I feel it making me better. Like I feel stuff moving around in there, and then later I feel better.
Good stuff.
So I feel like crystals are healing. You know, some people say, "Oh, that's not true," and all this stuff, but I feel like it is. My mom is the one who like got us all into it because she researched all the different crystals. Like my sons, they wear certain crystals around their neck and everything. I just haven't researched anymore lately, but I've always been a lover of rocks, right? So like growing up, because I was a tomboy, so I would find rocks and put them in my pockets. And so I would just like have rocks with me all the time. And then my kids were like that too. So my sons, like they always, every time I was like doing laundry or whatever, I would find different rocks in their pockets. Right. And then when my granddaughter did it, one time my granddaughter picked up a rock, she had a rock in her hand and she would not let it go. I was so happy. I was like, that's how you can tell that, you know, like she knows, because it's something healing about things that come from the earth. So that's how I feel. But yeah, right now my rose quartz, that's a smooth one, but my white crystal quartz is more jagged. But like we have so many, they're upstairs though. We have so many different crystals. I was trying to see if there's something right here, because my mom has so many, and so we have her crystals now.
Good stuff.
Yeah. And she was trying to heal herself with crystals, like with shungite. You know about shungite?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I first got introduced to shungite, I was putting it in water, and it's carbon based. Yeah. So I wasn't as trusting of it as I thought I should be, because like the water would turn. And again, back to the not being naturalist, you know, like the things that we call clean are not very clean, if that makes sense. Like yeah, when I went to the springs, the warm spring, it was like, it took me a minute to get in it, because it was like, but it smelled like sulfur. And have you smelled sulfur? Like it didn't have the best smell. So I'm like trying to psych myself out and get out of this bleach smell. Like bleach is not good for our skin, you know. It's like, get out of that mindset. So shungite, for me, it was kind of like the water's dark, like, you know. It's like, so I never got around to drinking the shungite, and then I do have plenty of it. Like when it comes to having things, like I pretty much have every crystal. I pretty much have, you know, anything that someone says heals you, right, I probably have it, you know, just because, for the principle of, if someone comes in and says, I would like, you know, they're drawn to it, there you go. You know, like, but I haven't like drank the water like when I first, as I did when I planned to do, when I first got it. I really wanted to do it, but it just didn't. You know, I really do think too, your intuition will tell you, because it may be good for one person, but for me, my biological chemistry makeup may be saying,
right.
You know, so, and you have to respect that, because at the end of the day, like I said, someone was telling me, oh, you're way too thin. And I'm like, how are you going to let somebody tell you that you're way too thin and you don't even know what you are yet? Like, you don't know what thin is yet. And it's interesting because to me, I look thinner, but I weigh the same.
Right. Right. It's just in the right places. Yeah.
Yeah. In all the right places.
Yes. Well, one interesting thing that you mentioned, and I'm glad you said that, because you said about the crystals, like somebody might be drawn to it, right? And that's how I feel too, because like my mom taught us that, right? Like you're supposed to like pick out your own, because there should be some kind of connection. And so I remember one time when I took my youngest son to where were we? I think we were in Massachusetts, and there was like a crystal shop, and so I was trying to get him something because I wanted to pick something, but I was like, he needs to pick it himself to help deal with his I don't know what to call it because he's right there, but like, you know, because his father had passed away and everything, and just to help him cope, right, and deal, and give him something to concentrate on and help him feel better. And so he picked out a certain crystal, because I had him look around and pick out whatever one he wanted, and then I picked out one for him too. But because I, you know, like research like what's supposed to be good for what he was going through and everything. But I was glad that he, you know, connected with one, picked it out, and got it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that part is important. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I actually had it was a mutual friend. She's a friend now, but before I had just met her, and a friend of mine had brought her here, and she's seen all the crystals and stuff, and she was just like, I want one of your crystals. And I was just like, okay, you know, which one do you want? And she was just like, I'm gonna pay you for it. I was like, oh no, you know, because I always thought that you're supposed to give crystals. Now I do think that, you know, I'm trying to get out of that thought process too, because if someone values something and if they put a value to it, I need to learn how to be more accepting. But at that time she was new, I didn't know her, and it's just kind of like, go ahead, take it, you know, because she was just really complimenting me. I felt like she was paying me with all the compliments, because she was just like, I really want one of your crystals. Like, I want, you know, your energy. I was like, yeah, go ahead. So I said all that to say she just had to have a crystal, and she also had to pay me, because I looked up in one of my plants, and when she had left, she had stuck like a $20 bill for a crystal that I may have paid $1 for. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. But it made me feel so good. It's like, wow, my energy is really worth something these days. So it was very nice. But for some reason, that crystal, you know, wherever I got it, because I don't think it was one that I found, because I'll find stuff on the street too, and I'll bring it in here. And I'm now into pine cones. Like, I'll bring pine cones in here just because of the way the pattern, the way the earth created this swirl.
Yeah.
So I got pine cones all around the house.
No, that's cool.
So I'll just pull stuff. So, and if people start coming in here paying me $20 for pine cones,
you can buy the pine cones. The link is below, $20. Free shipping.
Most certainly. Now I might have to go out here and just go get a bunch of pine cones and bring them on in there, and we can start us, you know.
Bless it and sell them. Yep.
That's right.
No, that's cool. But thank you so much for keeping me on track and making sure I didn't leave without letting you ask your question. So,
thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Coach Scott, for coming on and sharing your story and inspiring us. And everybody, won't you go ahead and subscribe to her YouTube channel and check out some of her videos? Yeah, come on over. And like I said, I will put her links below in the description. And also, if you haven't done so, please subscribe, like, share, comment if you have some encouraging words to give to Coach Scott. Let her know how awesome she is and how you love her energy. And also, if you have any questions for me on any other content that you would like me to talk about, please place them below. And thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing you peace, love, and light. Bye.